I want to talk about what it's like being a frugivore. Now, I have a video on here titled Human Beings Are Frugivores. You should check that out. Well, I'm not going to go in depth on this video, but just real briefly, what is a frugivore? You have herbivores, you have omnivores, you have carnivores, and you have frugivores. Human beings are frugivores, but most human beings think we are carnivores or omnivores, but we're frugivores. And a frugivore diet consists of mainly fruit, or all fruit. It could consist of all fruit. And those people are typically known as fruitarians, but they could also be frugivores. But a fruitarian is supposed to be exclusively fruit. All you eat is fruit. Frugivore diet could consist of fruit, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, or just anything raw that comes from nature that you enjoy eating. So, frugivore diet does not consist of cooked food, and it doesn't consist of seasoning and, just anything unnatural. Frugivore diet consists of raw foods in their natural states. And for humans, this is primarily fruit because, at least for me anyway, there's no food in its natural state that tastes better than fruit. So I'm currently on an all fruit diet. Like, I'm currently eating nothing but fruit. And I've been on that for a little while. But before that, I was eating, mostly fruit and nuts, or fruit and seeds. And I was probably eating more nuts than fruit. But everything's raw in its natural state. So that's what a frugivore is, and that's what all human beings are. Period. We are not carnivores. We are not flesh eaters. But because humans are trying to be something that we're not, trying to be carnivores when we're not, this is the reason why we have so many hospitals. This is the reason why so many of us are dying prematurely. This is the reason why so many of us are suffering from a variety of sickness and disease. So what is it like, though, being a frugivore, or just embracing your frugivore nature in this world? I want to say it's hard. It's definitely not easy. It's definitely challenging, right? Because chances are, if you start embracing your frugivore nature and you begin living as the frugivore you are, you will likely find yourself alone. You will likely be the only one, right? And if you are really serious about maintaining a frugivore lifestyle, you will likely lose a lot of relationships and a lot of your social life. Because, my experience with it has been realizing how much of my social life revolved around food. And I mean, if I meet a girl You know, you want to go out to eat. It's the most popular date is going out, like going out to eat. You know, it's the most popular dating activity is eating. You know, even with your family, even with friends, it's just the most popular activity, of any social aspect, even business. If you're in business and, you tend to have like business meetings. A lot of times business meetings take place at restaurants and everyone eats while they discuss business. So, you'll have some decisions to make. You'll have some hard decisions to make if you seriously try to maintain a frugivore lifestyle. Because at some point, so the thing is, like for me, my inspiration was to be in excellent health. I understand that sickness and disease are not normal and they're unnatural consequences of an unnatural lifestyle or unnatural diet. All disease is diet related. And I made a video about that. You should check that out. But all disease is diet related. They all come from unnatural diets. So understanding this, and wanting to be in excellent health, over time, I eventually adopted this frugivore lifestyle. Over time, I eliminated, toxic food after toxic food after toxic food. I didn't eliminate any of these foods because I no longer like the way they taste. Like I love them today, no differently than I did back then. I stopped eating them because I realized what I was really eating was poisonous to my body. It was toxic. And what I was really eating was not food, but it was chemicals and drugs. And so the more truth I learned about what I was actually eating, the more I stopped eating those things, but they still taste incredible. So you have to make decisions, because if you go out to these restaurants still, you're just placing yourself in a position to be tempted, because everything your friends or your business partners or your family, whoever, everything they order to eat is going to be stuff that you really loved. So you got a decision to make. Like, how bad do you want? Like, do you really want to be healthy? Is that really what you want? So it can be a road that you travel down, alone the majority of the time. So I know my personal experience, I don't know any frugivores, or I don't know anyone that's living a frugivore lifestyle. Like personally, no one in my area, in my city, is living like that. And so, this eliminates like cookouts. I'm not going to a cookout or barbecue or party or like a, whatever. where they're having food catered and they're cooking and having this big spread of food, because I don't eat that shit. But again, I didn't stop eating it because I stopped loving it. I stopped eating it because I recognized it wasn't good for me. But I still love the way it tastes. And it tastes so good, it's like it's easy to say, fuck my health. Like, being healthy ain't really that important. Like, that's how good it tastes. And that's the position like many people hold. They would rather have the food than the health. And they show that through their actions. And if somebody like me, which I don't do this, but I'm just saying, if I was to talk to them about what they were eating, they wouldn't want to hear that shit. So I don't do that. But I've had people ask me about why I eat the way I eat, or they just make a comment about how I eat, and I'll make a comment back, and they will quickly abandon that conversation. They don't want to hear it. They know it's true, but they're literally drug addicts. And that might sound extreme because we don't think of food as drugs. But you gotta understand that most of what most people eat is not food at all. It really is drugs disguised as food. Food is found in nature. Food is eaten in its natural state. All these concoctions and things, these are just different inventions of man. These are just different man-made creations. It's not food at all. And they put drugs in it to make it taste better, to literally make you addicted, to make you crave it, to even make you eat more of it. Like, literally, they put drugs in the shit to make it last longer, to make it look prettier, to make it sweeter. Literally. And so what you experience, like, these are drug addict behaviors. Like, if I talk to somebody about why I eat the way I eat, and they don't want to hear it, it's because they immediately feel convicted. They know what I'm saying is the truth, but they don't want to hear it. It's no different than if you were talking to a drug addict on the street, right? A heroin addict or a meth is no different. They don't want to hear what you got to say. If you're telling them like they're fucking their life up, like, look at you. You stink. You haven't bathed in weeks or months. Like, you lost your job. Like, look at you. They don't want to hear that shit. They just want to get high. There's literally no difference between a drug addict on the street and a drug addict living next door to you, having the cookouts and the barbecue, the party, whatever. There's no difference. You get the same reaction. And they both are consuming things that are toxic and poisonous to their health. And don't care. They're not gonna stop eating what they love, not even to save their health. That's a fucking drug addict. If you are choosing a food over your health, you're a drug addict. Food don't make you act like that. You don't become addicted to food. You don't become addicted to fruit or nuts or seeds or vegetables. in their natural state. You don't become addicted. Food is not addictive. Drugs are addictive. And if you don't want to change your habits to save your health, you're addicted. You're a drug addict. And these people that are refusing to change their habits, that don't want to hear talk like this, they simultaneously want to be in good health. None of these people that are eating these processed, toxic, chemical filled, drug filled foods want to be in bad health. There's nobody saying I'm eating the way I eat because I'm hoping I get diabetes, or I'm eating the way I eat because I hope I get cancer, or I'm eating the way I eat because I'm trying to get Alzheimer's, or I'm trying to get fat, or I'm trying to be obese. Like, people aren't doing that. You're a fucking drug addict. And so, you have to make decisions. If this is part of this lifestyle. This is part of being a frugivore, or embracing your frugivore nature, that I know I didn't think about it. And anybody considering this probably didn't think about it either, but you will lose like nearly your entire social life unless you compromise, unless you put yourself in positions to be tempted. Because you're not gonna, if you pull out a mango in front of one of your friends eating some wings or something, they're not gonna be tempted by your mango, but you're gonna be tempted by their wings. Because again, it's like, it's so hard to stay on topic. Let's just take wings, for example. Chicken wings, right? We think we love the chicken wings, but you don't. Because if you love chicken wings, you would eat them raw, in their natural state. A real carnivore loves chicken wings. My dog loves chicken wings. Any part of the chicken. Human beings don't love chicken wings. They love what's added to the chicken wings, right? So it's cooked. Like the chicken, they're cooked and they're seasoned really well. Excuse me. You love the seasoning, or they're like dipped in barbecue sauce or whatever kind of sauce. You love the seasoning. You love the sauce that's on the chicken wing. You don't love the chicken wing because you wouldn't eat it raw. It would be fucking disgusting. You wouldn't even be able to do it. And then many of us wouldn't even eat it just cooked. Like if you just cooked it and didn't season it and didn't add no sauce to it, you still wouldn't eat it. So it's the addition of the chemicals, the drugs, that make this nasty ass chicken wing taste so delicious. It's deceptive. And you're deceived. And so this is, adopting a frugivore lifestyle is like recovering from drug addiction. And in this world that we're in, you're a recovering drug addict, but everyone you know are still drug addicts. Your family, your friends, your loved ones, your spouse, your children, everyone, your business, everyone. They're still drug addicts. They still get high. And so you got to make a choice, because the only way you're going to hold on to those relationships is if you put yourself in compromising positions. You have to compromise. You have to give in, because they're not going to come over your house and sit with you and have a bowl of fruit and just hang out. But they will want you to come over their house and sit with them and, you know, have some pizza and wings or whatever and hang out. So if you don't cut that relationship, you're very likely to go back to those old ways. And so a lot of times it's not even about, you know, like maintaining this lifestyle is not even about the food. A lot of times it could be about your social life. It could be about your friendships and your relationships and your family. You know, you miss your friends. You miss hanging out with people. You miss going to certain restaurants. And so, you know, until I guess, you know, more people start waking up, you know, and realize what they're really consuming and what they're really doing to their bodies and how they're really poisoning themselves and supporting sickness and disease with their diets and like making themselves sicker. Like every time they eat. Like until more people start, you know, waking up and realizing this and actually care about it enough to make changes, you know, this is a path that you will likely be on by yourself. It's a path I've been on by myself. You know, but yeah, so you really have to be a warrior to embrace your frugivore nature, because you're constantly tempted, constantly everywhere you go. You see restaurants that you used to go to, that you love, that you have memories going to, and they're everywhere. You just walking or driving down the street, you smell the smells of different foods being cooked, and you know what they are because you love them. You still love them. You just made a decision to stop eating them because you recognize what they really are, but you still love them, and it smells amazing. And like, these are just examples of your battles every day. You know, when I go work out, like right next to where I'm working out at are restaurants. Several, not even just one, several. And, you know, they're cooking, and I come out the gym, I go in the gym smelling it, I come out the gym smelling it. Even the gym I go to, they have free pizza. You know, like one Monday per month. Like all day. Free pizza. And then they have on another day, they have like free bagels. And of course you got the cream cheese and all this shit. This is at the fucking gym. A place you go to get in better shape and better health. And they're serving things that will hinder your progress. It's everywhere. I've even had fucking nightmares about not eating cheese. You know, I've had a lot of dreams. Just a few days ago, I had a dream that I was fucking some steak up. Fucking it up. Didn't even care no more. Like, I have dreams like this almost regularly. Like, the temptation is just, it's everywhere. So, and you know, there's a way to fight it. There's a way to win. And but I'm not going to talk about that now. But yeah, so those are some I guess like different insights into a frugivore lifestyle. But regardless of all that, I have zero regret. I wouldn't change a single thing about my journey. And it feels good to embrace your nature. It feels good on different levels. And like you experience, I feel like you experience tremendous spiritual growth. If that's important to you, that's very important to me. So, and that's a huge benefit. And, it's like once your eyes have been opened, like how do you go back? People, for the most part, people that are eating, these processed creations that's referred to as food, and, eating dead animal flesh, and, all the toxic things that they eat, the drugs that are filled with drugs and chemicals. They don't really understand what they're eating. And they don't want to understand. They're not going to listen to you unless they really want to change. But they want to remain ignorant. This is where that phrase, this is why there's that phrase, ignorance is bliss. They don't want to know. They don't care what you know. They don't want to hear that what they're eating is toxic or poisonous or it's full of chemicals and drugs. They don't care because they love it so much. It's like, don't rain on my fucking parade. Let me eat what I want to eat. That's the attitude, because they love it so much. They don't want to let it go. And it doesn't matter if what they love is hurting them, if what they love is poisoning them, if what they love is killing them. It don't matter, because that's how much they love it. Drug addict, they are really addicted to the drugs that are put in these creations that people call food. So, Frugivore life. I'm gonna wrap that up here. Let me know what you think about it.